Hello guys, it's time to start a new series. What is this series gonna be about? Okay, picked up a little bit small backboard, but I call it brainboard. It's still, in short, would be a BB, but there's a twist, okay? Because we're gonna switch from one blackboard to another. I actually need a bigger one. So we need a 2000 by 2000 at least, where we are going to map the most important blackboard probably ever that I will ever create. The thing is, I've noticed that one particular phrase, evil is a lie, had certain structure. Oh, fuck. What the fuck? Evil is lie. So it had a structure of one node, another node. So these are concepts. Evil and lie are words, right? And it's something that I want to define. But at the same time, there is this structure in between, saying that these things are equal. Basically, improving your knowledge of what, the reason why we are so good at pattern recognition is because we have to be. As humans, we have to learn and simplify things. And I understand now that truth is also very simple. And it's actually it's possible to map the truth like this. But you have to use symbol for every single one of those nodes. So for evil I would use something like a devil. And it seems like devil doesn't actually exist. It's just there, right? And it's like that. And for a lie I would just pick a long nose. In fact, Google doesn't actually give anything else but that. It's just long nose. I would give a smile. And no actual eyes, because that would be a little bit too much. Alright, so that's how it's gonna look like, right? Every single node has its own symbol. And I will put this into a big blackboard. So I need another layer just to make sure it goes on top of the blackboard. I can copy and paste it and do whatever I want. If I want to change the color immediately or something like that. It's very hard to get rid of the color. So we start. So we're gonna do a video for like 20 minutes, right? And every single time I will have to get a lot of, at some point I will feel like, okay, I need to define this first until I can actually move on. So in the title of the video I basically put all the definitions that I'm able to do in 20 minutes that I feel are necessary to know before I can move forward and make other videos. So most importantly, the evil is a lie concept is probably the most powerful one to understand basically everything. But there are two more concepts that are also pretty interesting. So let me see. Life is game. And truth is simple. So I have to go as fast as I can and put these concepts into the right place. I have only 20 minutes, so I'll put a clock over here so I would see. You obviously can see if you check the YouTube stats. Alright, so we have to start with something that we don't actually know at all. But we kind of have to start with knowledge. One thing that pops up every time, or should pop up, is the icon I in the corner. So this would tell that there is something. Oh, damn! That's the thing. I thought I was gonna make videos for each node, but that would take so much time. Instead, I have to, well, define all the stuff. But in case I don't define it, in case there are future episodes where you actually need to understand more in order to understand this, which wouldn't make sense. Why would I do this? Why? Okay, so we're gonna start with I. Maybe this will pop up. Maybe there are gonna be some videos that may want to, you know, define things for you, basically. But that's where you start. You start with the I, understanding who you are and stuff like that, because you're gonna be gathering knowledge, and in order to have knowledge, you have to have self-improvement. So any connection you're gonna get, no matter where it is, once you set up this node that kind of takes all the connections in, you kind of understand that every single connection gives you experience. So as I go along, it's just gonna fill up. I'm not gonna like remove it anywhere, but this is the definition of experience, right? Everything that is connected to this node is gonna be experience. Anything you know, anything. Now knowledge, or rather things you know, are nodes. So I will mark it as a thing, right? Or a node. Well, I will say nodes, right? But there's no actual way to put just like saying a node. So this is a thing, because it's a definition. Node is something that you already know about this. I'd rather put something that you don't. Alright, so we have that. So what we can connect first, that was something I was not ready for. There's none of these three, but I have to find place, or just kind of put them on the board first. So we're gonna put these two on the board, those two symbols, and I guess I can make a start up point. So I'm gonna move this a little further, and what's interesting about this is like mapping the brain. It's really cool. Alright, so we're gonna do that. And there's gonna be a node intersecting. That's just an explanation. This is a concept. So basically, circular shapes are trying to give concepts. I'll give those circular shapes gaps so they could fit into those things that go through them, but at the same time they cannot give space for whatever they're trying to show. So that's pretty interesting. It kind of seems like a chain, right? The way I put this, so that's very nice. Okay, so the equal sign is, that is the name of a connection between every single node and the core. So this is the core and these are nodes. I guess I can do this and say that it's a node. I will actually put it anyways. Connection and core. Okay, so that's done. We're gonna put evil is a lie concept as a symbol, but we're still gonna name it. Okay, just so it would be super obvious what's happening, but it's much more visible from further away. So we have evil, and we have the concept of a lie. The lie is very important. I will put it here. I think I'm able to connect it to experience directly, which is kind of weird. Alright, so it's gonna be named a lie. Maybe I should do it under a thing. Okay. I will say any thing. So it's gonna be an empty node, which is gonna define the structure of our brain. And if I don't want to move these two, I have to move the XP up, which I am gonna do. Experience. It looks a little worse, I guess, but that's what I have to do. Anything. I guess I have to like put the same thing as well. First pull up this guy and put the circle around anything. I don't know, in the end of the day, like, this is gonna be pretty powerful. Sadly, the nodes also have to be moved. Wait, I think I have to remove this part, because I think I deleted it with black, even though it's a layer. Okay, we have that. It's a slow process. The first episode shouldn't be that exciting, but understanding this whole thing, this whole concept of creating the brain, pretty interesting. Maybe I could use, instead of circles, I can use like this squarish target, and over it, that is actually pretty good. Over it is like experience. Okay, but that would change the structure of chain. How big is it? Okay, you can see it's not a lot of space. I might have to simplify it very quickly. Just redraw everything, which is kind of bad idea. But I can redraw those smaller things. I'm probably just gonna redraw outside of the video though. So I'm gonna pause it and then come back a little bit later, because I want to redraw so I can copy and paste these guys. And if I want to do that, I actually have to get away from the square area. So it's actually very important to do squarish shape. So sorry, chain, you're not gonna work, because even if I want to make a chain, I will not put equal sign in every single connection. That's not gonna happen. So the reason why experience is connected to a lie is because they are opposite. Basically, it's just one-directional connection. Because there's... actually, I have to understand what the fucking connection we have here. Because it's opposite, right? The lie actually doesn't exist. It's nothingness, okay? So how do we make it an opposite? I would say like the higher energy of a lie would be experience. So whatever you can do, the bigger the core, the smaller the experience. So for now, or rather the lie, right? The bigger this thing gets, the smaller this thing gets, and this thing is an equal sign. I actually will have to put equal sign and those bubbles around these things. These gonna be chains, okay, but these are gonna be square. So again, I'll redraw, but I probably have to do this real quick. So truth is simple. Somehow I have to symbolize simplicity connected to this with an equal sign. So what I'm gonna do, because I see how I have to draw things, I have to draw these things very fast, and in the end I'll have to tinker until it actually looks good and is looking, you know, useful. So I have to put something that is very simple. I think the simplest thing is a triangle. But can this symbolize simplicity? I do not know. It's the simplest 2D shape you can get, and it's the best looking shape ever. Out of 3 parts, yes, you can have a circle. Should I have a circle, right? Should I have just a circle? Or that is something that, figuring out a symbol, maybe something will hit me when I say it to Google. Simplicity. Oh, it's uploading. Yeah. Simplicity. Alright, so we have some nature, a droplet, which is a circle, just words, sun, which is also a circle. I think it's just gonna be a circle instead. Even though it wants to be a word. It always wants to be a word. But this is what I'm gonna add. That it would look like a droplet. Like it would look like a 3D structure, but it's super simple, right? One also simple thing is a smile, but I like the droplet. It's even more simple. So yeah, that's great. We have 1 more minute to fill in Life is Game. Oh, yeah. We already did that by defining what core is an experience, and what experience comes from, like the best and the most well-known mechanic, leveling up. But it's not fully defined. You cannot fully understand this yet. It's just that it is true with that, and it's true with the concept of where the experience term comes from most of the time. So I'll just put this thing right here, and I'll come back after I finish up drawing. Actually, I will have not enough time, so I'll just end the video here. Next video, you'll see a better version of this, so it will kind of motivate you to, do all the stuff to like and subscribe and watch the next video, stuff like this, to see how this all grows up to be a big tree of whatever, the knowledge. Alright, see you guys next time.